Hello everyone, this is Scarzig, and welcome back to another episode of Duelyst. We're playing more Magmar today. Before we jump in, let's go over the deck changes that we have for this time. Still running 3 Flash Reincarnation, of course, 3 Healing Mystic, 3 Natural Selection, and I have 2 Crossbones now. I've been running into a lot of Mechazor lately. I'm pretty sure it's just a side effect of my particular bracket in the ladder, but these really do come in handy sometimes. Mechazor decks get really lucky. They'll tempo out Mechazor on turn 4, turn 5, and if you haven't managed to replace or draw your Crossbones by then it gets really bad really fast. So this gives me the higher chance of getting the Crossbones when I need it, and gives me a solid 3/3 body. Also takes out Mini Jacks, which does come in handy sometimes, and Heartseekers as well. So having 2 Crossbones is actually way more useful than I initially thought. And it's been working out for me. You'll notice that I don't have Rustcrawler in here anymore. I had it in there just as a precaution, but I found that when I was going up against, Lionar, where I was fearing the Arclight Regalia, or Songhai, where you might be fearing a Blood Rage Mask or whatever, holding the Rustcrawler in my hand in anticipation for that was actually, I think, screwing me over in the long run, because it's better to just replace that, I think, than instead of holding on to this dead 2-drop waiting to counter your opponent's artifact. And honestly, I haven't run into anything too threatening that I couldn't just throw bodies at anyway. So Rustcrawler's gone for now. If I get higher up into the brackets and I start running into a lot of stuff, then they'll probably get cycled back in. But for now, they've been cut. 2 Kinetic Equilibrium still. I was thinking about cutting these actually, because I wasn't too sure about them, but I'm beginning to notice more and more the situations where this will really come in handy. You can combo Kinetic Equilibrium with Metamorphosis, of course, to take out eggs. Takes out 2/2s, Wraithlings. I've had it come in handy to deal with Jack's True Sight before. So all in all, these are pretty useful. More than I initially thought, of course. And I don't have Wings of Paradise anymore. I cut it for Vindicators, and here's why. I'm not running Dire Tide Frenzy anymore. I initially had that in the deck to sort of get more value out of my larger minions, but it wasn't really cutting it for me, because if you draw Dire Tide Frenzy when you don't have anything on the board, it's a dead draw. It combos really well with Wings of Paradise, but I found that having the Vindicators sort of fills that same strategic niche, because it itself has range. I can summon it, it moves, summon something next to it, that can move. So it allows me to reach range units or pesky other units like Pyromancers, Shadow Dancers, Aether Masters, Mana Forgers, those kinds of small utility-based units that are normally placed in defensive positions. And even though I'm not getting as much threat from the Vindicators by themselves as I was with Wings of Paradise, because that's the 5 damage your opponent wants to respond with removal very quickly, I think the Vindicators overall are going to give me more of a damage threat later game, because if I can combo a Vindicator with, a Flash Reincarnation, Archon Spellbinder or something, that's 7 damage, that's just going to actually take out a large threat or hit the general, and that's going to give me the power I need to close out some of these games. To go alongside that, I do have 3 Egg Morphs now, as well as 2 Earth Spheres and 3 Emerald Rejuvenators. This is just me packing on the healing to try to survive towards my power spike in the later game as much as possible. I do have 3 Twilight Sorcerers as well. These combo really well, again, with Flash Reincarnation, as you've seen me do many times in the past. Flash Reincarnation into Twilight Sorcerer, that brings the Flash Reincarnation back, so you can follow that up with another Flash Reincarnation Veteran Silithar. Or, these can also help you cycle through your natural selection, get those back into your hand to deal with smaller threats. So, all in all, very solid card, and the high health is just, icing on the cake. 3 Veteran Silithars as always, 1 Keeper of the Vale still. I do have Metamorphosis and a Plasma Storm. Plasma Storm I find myself replacing more often than not. It does come in handy here and there for taking out swarms of small things, but Kinetic Equilibrium sort of fulfills that slot, that niche that I need a bit better. This still stands as a pretty good deck against Lionar. Takes out, Silverguard Knights or Ironcliff Guardians and things like that. I eventually do want to swap this out for a second Metamorphosis. I know that top Magmar decks run 3 Metamorphosis because it's actually very solid to combo this with Spirit Harvester or something with Frenzy. And to finish it off, as always, we've got 2 Spirit Harvesters, 2 Archon Spellbinders, 2 Makantor Warbeast, and a Silithar Elder. And so with that, let's jump right into the ladder and see what we can get today. Abyssian. Okay. Okay, so Abyssian is not too bad. Well, I think it comes down to who can get an early advantage and snowball it. Because if they play Wraithlings and stuff incorrectly, then Kinetic Equilibrium just does quick work of them. But if it's Burn Abyssian, then I'm gonna have a harder time because they can really apply a lot of pressure, and normally they're starting to threaten you with a lot of lethal damage before you can start drawing your healing and getting the scaling that you want. Alright, so right off the bat we've got Spectral Blade. So I can move forward, and I could do Vindicator to deny this mana, and then take a charge off of that Spectral Blade. Now I want to think, trading the power of the Vindicator just to take a charge off the Spectral Blade isn't that good of a play, but at the same time, letting her get this mana is also a really bad idea. So I suppose I can summon the Vindicator and then run him away. So I sort of get sort of have my cake and eat it too. He can also use Demonic Lore, of course, to bring this into range, but at least, you know, like I said, the Vindicator is a magnet for removal, just like Wings of Paradise would be anyway. So summoning this early lets my late game threats, I think, survive a bit longer. You know, they aren't going to get... That's one less demonic lore that's going to move that Archon Spellbinder over to a corner and be useless for 2 turns, or 3 turns. And if he does decide to demonic lore into range, then it's going to take a charge off of the Spectral Blade regardless, so... I think that will overall, based on what I had, because I had a really bad opening hand, this makes, you know, the best of it. Yep, so there's the demonic lore. So that's 1 removal spell and a charge off the Spectral Blade. That's mana that he doesn't get to take. So all in all, I think we do come out pretty good. I don't want to say ahead, but pretty decent overall, I guess. Don't need Metamorphosis. Healing Mystic. Now, the Healing Mystic is going to die to the Spectral Blade. So I'd have to summon it in a more defensive spot. If I move down here, and then summon the Healing Mystic here. Man, that's really poopy. Not even a flash Reincarnation to get the Warbeast out. But that would be a really low value Warbeast anyway. So before we make that mistake, let's attack first so we can get some healing. Okay. Because the thing with Spectral Blade is, since the General can take out all of these early drops for free, essentially, it's important to, if you don't have any direct removal, like I took the Rust Crawlers out, you know, finally I'm starting to be punished for that. But you want to at least try to build up a board, and you have to face tank, honestly, unless you have something to deal with Spectral Blade. Blitzier Alchemist is also an option when it comes to Magmar decks. I have seen some of that lately. Yeah, but he's just hitting me, and he's going to take out the Night Sorrow Oh man, Grasp of Agony? Harsh. So I take 3 damage. Board is even. Spectral Blade is also not a thing. And then Void Pulse. So he used almost his whole hand that turn. And I think now I can begin to just start running away and heal up and outscale. We're going to put the Emerald Rejuvenator... Because he can move up to summon the Night Sorrow Assassin, take this mana, and then kill the Emerald Rejuvenator. Which would just be... It would be horrible. He could also do Grasp of Agony into Night Sorrow Assassin and hit me and kill the Emerald Rejuvenator. So I think the best play here is just to heal myself now while I can and take this mana. Just to try to keep him contained a bit more. Because I wasn't really able to contest as hard, but that's 2 mana to me that he can't have. Unfortunately, I don't have a 2-drop or anything to follow it up with. Here comes the Healing Mystic a bit too late. Demonic Lure, I am fine with that. Yeah, you see he's just trying to pressure me. So now I can actually go Earth Sphere, Healing Mystic. Ooh. I think I should gamble this, because if I move the Emerald Rejuvenator, there's a chance the mini-jacks could spawn right in this corner next to it. %, chance. Not lucky. Yeah, so I think we'll... Actually, if I flash Veteran Silithar, that would also let me Earth Sphere. Or do I want to just Earth Sphere into Healing Mystic? Which one's better? We'll go this route. So I lose out on 2 healing, but it gives me, you know, still 3 HP, but because of Rebirth, he's a bit stickier, and if he wants to hit this with something, it'll, if he has to hit it with his General, then he'll take that damage. Like, if he equips another Spectral Blade, for example, he'll have to take that damage at least. So it's a bit more threatening than the Healing Mystic. And, of course, Earth Sphere is a really strong heal, so that 2 points of healing right now doesn't really matter. Okay, so he is going to do it. And Night Sorrow Assassin to take out the egg. This actually works for me because you see this 9x9? The Kinetic Equilibrium can take out both of these for me. Or Spirit Harvester. Bada boom. Okay, so Spirit Harvester into Healing Mystic. Now the question is, do I want to spawn the Spirit Harvester over here in the corner, or do I want to keep it close to threaten? Because he can always Demonic Lure it into range, or Demonic Lure it away. Or hit it with a Night Sorrow Assassin, or whatever else. So I think I actually want to keep it close to deal damage to face, because all of his damage, as you've seen, is out of hand, so the Spirit Harvester isn't going to help me too much. So let's do that. I think that's good. Because if I move the Emerald Rejuvenator here, then there's a chance he could hit it with Grasp of Agony and do some shenanigans to me. Like right now, the Healing Mystic is in range of dying, but it's not going to hit my General, and he's going to want to focus on killing the Spirit Harvester anyway. Okay, Dark Transformation, yeah. So if I played it over here defensively, then it would end up just AoEing my own creatures, and then he'd be able to just ignore it, because most of his damage, again, is coming from out of hand. Okay, that's fine. Now I have the advantage. Don't need 2 Kinetic Equilibrium. Let's see, I could Makantor Warbeast here. Just clear this, but that would be silly. What we're going to do is flash Reincarnation the Veteran Silithar into Archon Spellbinder. So this is going to delay a bit of his out-of-hand damage, and it's just an enormous threat. He just used the Dark Transformation, so I'm hoping that he doesn't have another one. If he had 2 in his hand, for example, he would most likely replace one of them. So he might have only be packing the 1, and there's a chance he might only have 2 in his Abyssian deck. So, and he's used 2 Demonic Lures so far, I think. So either way, this is still a big threat, and I'd want to play this regardless, because if he does Demonic Lure it into a corner, it's still going to be increasing the cost of his spells, which is something that Abyssian is very dependent on. So if he can't kill it because he's out of removal, then I just get to hit him in the face, and if he moves it out of the way, then it still does its job. Sort of. Okay, so Night Sorrow onto... Okay, so no Grasp of Agony to follow up with that. Now I'm at 21 health, and I have another Earth Sphere, so I'm going to hold on to this. As soon as I start to get low, it's like whatever. So this seems to actually be a creep deck. It's not hard burn. I'm going to leave these alive. Well, I can't, because if he has Soul Shatter packed, you can't let him get too many on the board. And I mean, the Shadow Creep would come anyway. If he hits these with Soul Shatter packed, then he's going to hit me, and that Shadow Creep is going to show up anyway. So I could Kinetic Equilibrium here. But we'll do Warbeast, because it's a 3-for-1, and I get to attack a 1 HP unit. Leaves me alive with 3 HP. We're going to move the Archon Spellbinder down here. That gives us more spread out units. So he can't hit all of us with Shadow Nova. He can't hit all of us with Grasp of Agony. And wherever he runs, we'll be able to collapse in on him. I think this is a pretty solid formation. Once you have bodies, you know, once you have the advantage, you're able to also get time to position your units a lot better. Void Pulse, okay. Yeah, he misplayed that. He moved up here, but I think he probably meant to summon the Emerald Rejuvenator there, because I had lethal on the board. Whew. So that was pretty good. Normally, I think that Magmar overall is pretty weak to, like I said, Abyssian Burn mostly, because their damage output's so insane that by the time you start scaling into your higher mana cost stuff, you just you melt. They burn you to death. They burn you at the stake. Now, the wise choice would be to mulligan these 2 to try to fish for an early Veteran Silithar, but we saw that it doesn't really matter, because Veteran Silithar dies to Spectral Blade just like everything else. So I'm going to hold the Spirit Harvester, because it'll come in handy, hopefully like it did last time. Is this a mirror match? I'm so bad at looking at my opponent's names, because I just worry about their faction so much. I don't care who's playing it. I need to play around your faction. Okay. So I've got Natural Selection. And I could Healing Mystic into Natural Selection. But I think I want to kill the Mini Jacks, and then just... I want to kill the Jaxi, in Natural Selection, the Mini Jacks. With this type of deck, you can pretty much take it slow. Because getting early tempo doesn't matter too much. But I think I will play the Healing Mystic here. Again, just to take that mana away. And it dies anyway. He'd have to trade the Jaxi into it and finish it off with his General. If he equips the Spectral Blade, he kills the Healing Mystic, and then Jaxi either takes this mana or trades into me, and then I can kill the Mini Jax next turn. So, that is it. I'm going to heal myself because I'm selfish. Now, do I want to hold this Spirit Harvester? I'm going to trust my gut and hold the Spirit Harvester. Because trading out there wouldn't have gotten me a 2-drop. Unless it was another Healing Mystic, which I don't really care for. They're just there to heal me, or to top off a unit that I summon with Flash Reincarnation. And to, you know, body block a little in the early game. Because they're pretty solid, and normally you'd probably be running Mini Jax. I keep saying Mini Jax instead of Jaxi. But, like I said before, Mini Jax just completely wrecks my abilities to natural selection stuff. And it's, for some reason, it always happens right when I need that clutch natural selection. I'll have like a friendly 1/1 up in the corner. I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. Okay, so I take 4. Then he trades the Jaxi into the Healing Mystic with his General. Or he leaves the Night Sorrow alive. Okay, so I don't have to take 4. That's good. And he leaves this alive, so I can melee attack it in a natural selection. That's the plan. Ooh, perfect. I can flash Twilight, natural selection. Or flash Spirit Harvester, save the natural selection, and the Spirit Harvester kills the Mini Jax. And then the Twilight Sorcerer allows me... Huh. You know, I think that might actually be the better play. Because I've got this 5 damage now threatening him. I get to save a removal. Huh. That is... Flash Twilight Sorcerer into natural selection. Kill the Mini Jax. I think that this is actually the better play. I'm getting more value out of the one unit, and now it's a huge damage threat. He'll have to waste a Night Sorrow Assassin on it, and that's 4 damage I don't have to take to the face. Because he wasted the Night Sorrow Assassin on my Healing Mystic for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe he was trying to keep the... Even if he kept Jaxi alive on purpose because he was playing around natural selection... I would still do the same thing. Melee attack it, natural selection. Okay, yeah, so there's Night Sorrow Assassin with its glitchy animation. Thinking about Grasp of Agony, maybe? If he wants to burn me, that's nice, but... What's he doing? He's not going to keep the Night Sorrow Assassin alive. He summons the Azure Horn Shaman naked so that I can just hit it with natural selection. Oh, man. Okay, so here's the next question. Do I summon this Twilight Sorcerer to get a Flash Reincarnation back guaranteed, or do I summon it afterwards? Well, actually, I do have to summon it beforehand to have enough mana for both. Silly me. So we'll get the Flash Reincarnation. Okay. And Flash Reincarnation is, even if I had the choice there, I think getting the Flash Reincarnation back guaranteed is overall stronger, because now that I'm starting to get into the higher mana, having that is going to facilitate bigger plays. I can drop that Archon Spellbinder, 2 turns early. Fantastic. Get that, extra veteran Silithar out if I have a spare 2 mana, that kind of stuff. See, and do I want to just egg morph that? That would be nuts. Or I play the Twilight Sorcerer and hope for another natural selection. Well, even natural selection would just buff the hell out of all of these. So I think egg morph is correct. Leave the Jaxi alive. And if only I had enough for egg morph Kinetic Equilibrium. Let's get rid of the Emerald Rejuvenator. See if we can get a better option. Silithar Elder. Nope. Okay. So we get the Flash Reincarnation back. That'll come in handy to bring out the Silithar Elder early, since I have board control, I guess you could say. Since I'm in the advantageous situation, Silithar Elder does become a bit more attractive of a play. Now, I spread these guys out, of course, to play around with Grasp of Agony. He can always move up and kill one of these. And if he wants to play Grasp of Agony on it, that's fine. I'll take the 3 damage like a man, and then the mini Jax will be in the corner. And would you look at that? The natural selection has come back to me. It is my destiny to deal with all of these threats perfectly. It has been preordained. Night Sorrow? Your 3rd Night Sorrow assassin? Is that how you're going to spend it? Ritual banishing? Okay, so you move up, and then Night Sorrow. That sounds really, that's like, feels really suboptimal to me. So I secretly want to leave that mini Jax alive and use the natural selection on the Azure Horn Shaman instead, just because I don't want it to do anything. Let's get rid of the Earth Sphere. Or no. Still not good. And if I leave the mini Jax alive, then it'll just snipe the Elder Egg. But then there's a chance the Azure Horn Shaman would just get crazy value. But I don't think I care that much. Yeah, I think that we're going to take care of that. And then Flash Elder. Up here in the corner. Away from danger. Alright, so bad news. The egg spawned in attack range of the Azure Horn Shaman. So the play right now, the dream play for my opponent, is to move Azure Horn Shaman, attack the egg, Ritual Banishing to trade into the Silithar Elder, and then Demonic Lure the Silithar Elder egg. So if he doesn't have that perfect combination, then I think that this guy might be able to snowball for me. Crossbones would have been really nice for that last round. I could have Crossbones, natural selection, the Azure Horn Shaman, and then went from there. So this was probably the best opportunity I was going to get this game to drop the Silithar Elder, but I still feel like I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. Ritual Banishing? Consuming Rebirth. Ooh, very nice. Kills this. Makes this guy beefy. And then brings him back. Okay, so. We get to kill you for free. And then that makes it so the Azure Horn Shaman can suicide into the Silithar Elder. But, wait a minute, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, cool. Then I can just Vindicator into the Azure Horn Shaman. Perfect. 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 Okay. And we're going to move the Vindicator back. And hopefully this Elder Egg will spawn back here. Into safety. Oh yes! Always lucky. So I think that this will actually be the first time Silithar Elder goes off properly and actually wins me a game. Normally, you know, it'll come into my hand and it'll tempt me. They'll say, Scarzig, drop this Silithar Elder right now. And it's never a good idea. I just never seem to have the right board state for it. Okay. That's cool. We turn him into an egg. Okay. Grasp of Agony, Demonic Lure. Do it. Oh my goodness, that would be clutch. Take out the egg and a Vindicator. If only you had those two cards in your hand. If only that was your destiny, but no. He does have the Demonic Lure, I guess. Do it, man. See, that's bad. He wants to kill this one, I think. It's because this guy's going to hatch at the end of his turn. So then I get to move it and it spawns another egg. Oh, never mind. So I guess he had to kill the right one. Hang on. This egg... Oh, this was the egg that it spawned, so... It would have hatched at the end of... Sometimes I just completely forget how Rebirth works. You'll have to forgive me. Okay, so now here is the moment where Vindicator does his job. Because he moves 2 forward, summons the veteran Silithar. That just hits. Okay, so we're going to take out this Primus Fist so that the veteran Silithar can get right up and get real nice and cozy with the Abyssian General. And I'm going to move 2. Nice. And then the Silithar Elder hatches. Now I've seen, I wasn't recording. I was doing some testing. And I got into a Magmar mirror match. And I had my opponent flash Elder. And I couldn't deal with it right away. I killed the egg. And I got his Silithar Elder down to like 1 HP or something. I was like, I'll be able to finish it off next turn. I can figure out some sort of AoE to deal with the eggs. Anyway, so that Silithar Elder that I left alive, he hit it with Fractal Replication and spawned 3 more eggs. And I just like... I was jealous. I was like, why don't I have that in my deck? Okay, so you see, my friends, what I was talking about earlier. My evil plan has finally come to fruition, where the Vindicator will spawn the Archon Spellbinder. And it will do great things for me. Okay, so, about this Abyssal Juggernaut. If I move the veteran Silithar down, hit this, that allows me to move the Archon Spellbinder into range. And I think I want the Archon Spellbinder to take out the Abyssal Juggernaut. Yeah, so that's the play. Heavens to Betsy. So that takes out this big, giant, fat threat. And then we heal that. Whew, man. I'm getting some god draws. My deck is like coming together perfectly, and I don't think that my deck is that good. My opponent made some really big, like some questionable plays early. Very questionable plays with those Night Sorrow Assassins and really weird wasted Grasp of Agony. I think that this is just a Shadow Creep deck. He might just be experimenting. I don't want to let this go to my head. I'm not going to pretend like, oh man, my deck, look at it, completely stomp this Abyssian player. I'm just getting lucky because the last two Abyssians, maybe the last one Abyssian, if this is the same player and I haven't noticed, just hasn't been running crazy Burn Rush. Yeah, Shadow Creep deck. Maybe all the, you know, really MLG players are doing the gauntlet right now. Okay, so we got the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh yeah, I had lethal. Mamma mia. So that is why Vindicator in Magmar is ever so slightly better than Wings of Paradise, because it has the potential to just win the game if it's not dealt with. And Vindicator used to be even more ridiculous. I don't know if you guys remember, or if you were around for it, but Vindicator didn't used to just give the first minion you spawn next to it rush. It used to give every single minion that you spawned that turn next to it rush. And it was absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, that is all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. You have a good one.